it going out there, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. I am in Illinois at the Walmart distribution center getting unloaded on a load I brought over from New Jersey, and I am dollied down, unhooked and chocked with the axle slid. So we're ready to go. It's just waiting on Walmart at this point. We still got a green light. Been here for about an hour now. You know how it goes. It's Walmart. They get to it when they want to get to it. You're definitely on their schedule. But New Jersey's a little rough right now. I did manage to get out of there with only paying one toll. I did 5 deliveries in New Jersey and I paid one toll, and that was just to get out of there. And honestly, it was an $18 toll, and I probably would have paid 3 times that to get out of there. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad going to Jersey this time. 5 stops is always a headache, you know, especially when they're, you know, it's logistics at that point. It's not really about driving a truck. It's about working your clock to make sure you can get to all of them, you know, trying to work the customers to make sure they, you know, are doing their part to get you unloaded. Sorry, I'm trying to block some sun here. It is, I'm facing the sun and it is getting warm here. So, anyway, been idling the truck a little more this week. That is, a bummer. You know, I would like to get an APU put on this truck. I've got a deal lined up that I'm looking at right now. It's $5,000 to get a carrier APU put on. It's $5,000. It's fully refurbished. That's install. It's $3,500 for the APU, $1,500 for the install. It's completely refurbished. It has a rebuilt engine, and all the AC components are new. So, and a refurbished alternator. So, it's got a 90-day everything warranty on it, but I don't know. It's $5,000. Am I going to get $5,000 out of it? Because, you know, I'm doing the numbers on it right now, though. I'll show you my little spreadsheet I made up. This is a hillbilly PDF right here I made. So, basically what I'm putting on here is anytime I idle the truck for, like, you know, I know I'm going to be idling it for any amount of time. I write down the fuel used on, you know, off the ECM. For instance, last night, when I parked the truck, I had used 236.6 gallons according to that, because, you know, I filled the truck up and then I didn't fill it all the way back up, so I didn't reset it. And then I burnt, this morning when I got up, fuel used was 239.4, which is a total of 2.8 gallons I used last night idling the truck. It was not that bad out. Most of that idle time, probably an hour of that was, you know, probably 7/10 of that or so was, you know, when I'll go in to take a shower, I just leave the truck running because I don't want to come back to a hot truck after just taking a shower. Kind of defeats the purpose of going and taking a shower and then coming back and sweating. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm running the numbers on whether getting the APU is worth it or not. You know, with living in such a cold climate, I've got a bunk heater so I don't idle the truck as near as much in the winter. So I'm doing the numbers on it, and I'm keeping up with the fuel burned and then the price I'm paying for that diesel that I'm burning. And I'm going to keep up with that for about 90 days. At the end of next week, when I do the weekly review again, I will try to remind myself to throw in there how many gallons of diesel I idled out or I idled away in the past week. Especially, and I want to test it right now because like July, August is going to be the time to tell me the most money I'm going to use. But it's all about strategy, you know. It's like, do I want to spend $5,000 on this truck to put an APU on it? Because my plan is, and I don't want to get too deep into it, but my plan is with this truck is I have 18 months financing on this truck. My goal is to pay this truck off in 18 months and continue to make that payment for another 18 months. So by that time, I bought this truck at like 400,000 miles. At that time, this truck runs out of warranty. It's got a manufacturer warranty until 500,000, which is about, I don't know, 25,000 miles away. And then I've got a aftermarket warranty put on it that goes until 750,000 miles on the major components: the engine, the transmission, the rear ends, the exhaust system. So major components are covered till 750. That's when I'm going to be looking to get out of this truck if nothing else changes. I mean, if it's just a stellar truck, I may push it, but honestly, may not. I don't know. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But the plan is right now, 3 years in this truck, pay what I owe on it off in 18 months, save for another 18 months, trade this truck in on another truck that's in the 300, to 400,000 mile range, and basically trade this truck in, and then the cash I saved up for paying the payment to myself for the second 18 months, use that to just go buy a truck similar to this, only, by then, let's see, well, it's 3 years. This is a 16. So I'll probably be looking to get something that's been out right now, like a 19 or 20 model. In 3 years, I'll buy that. And that's my goal, is to do that. And then I can, basically every 3 years I get a new truck. And then after I do it this first time, don't get me wrong, I'm paying double payments this time. So the way that works is when I do it again, I'll have the trade-in on this truck to pull down, because this truck was like 40,000 bucks with the warranty and everything, out the door about 45,000 for this truck. And you can say I overpaid, you can say I underpaid. I did a lot of research to find this truck locally. That's what I paid. So you can say 45,000 on that. So in 3 years, I'll be looking for another 19 or 20 model that is in the same situation. So if I'm thinking about getting rid of this truck in like under 3 years, that APU is gonna, I'm gonna have to be idling a lot to make that APU worth it, basically. But that's a little bit of my strategy of what I'm doing with this truck and what I plan on doing in the future to rotate them out. And I may not sell this one. I may put somebody in this one when it rolls out, or I may keep this one and get the new one, put somebody else in it. I got options when that comes up. But yeah, idling a lot this week. It seems like, I don't know, last night was kind of a cool night, so I maybe idled for like 2 hours. I got up about, I don't know, it was probably about midnight, 1 o'clock. It got a little warm in the truck. So, I turned it on, and it ran for about 2 hours, and turned it off. So, anyway, 2 loads this week. Get on to the recap. First, let me talk about the load out of New Jersey real quick. Let me get that wrapped up. So, I could not find hardly anything out of New Jersey. New Jersey is a beast, let me tell you straight up. I looked, and I looked, and I looked, and so I came up with a load that was coming over here to Walmart in Illinois, paying $1,500. That's simple math. It's $1,500 to the carrier. It's $1,200 to the truck. The bummer of it is I had about a 40-mile deadhead to go get it, which ain't that bad, but it was 800 and something miles over here. So, let's say 950 total miles on that. That is not great. That's like, was that like $1.50, maybe a little bit more than $1.50, $1.55. By the time I get my cut of that, I'm down here like mega carrier leased on rates. Luckily, I got the money going into Jersey, though. That was the key to the week, still being a good week. Got the money going in. That's what you got to do. Because coming out, honestly, this load popped up, and I jumped on it. I was like, man, that's not a great rate, but from what I'd been looking at, I knew it was slim pickings. The main reason I took this load is because of it bringing me to Illinois. I have connections in Chicago. I called them before I took this load. Made sure that I could get something out of there today or tomorrow. Sure enough, they had loads coming out tonight. I got to pick up at about 8 p.m. tonight. So, yeah, all good. Good load to Texas on that one. It's 2 picks, 4 drops, but it pays really good. So, we'll continue to do those. So that's why I took this load over here that didn't pay that good. At least it got me over here to where I can get a good paying load. And as I've explained before, a lot of times your deadhead load it's a bite the bullet. You do what you got to do to get back to somewhere where you can make money. The key is when you know you're going to a place like a Jersey, at this time of year, you got to know your markets. And that's why you press them on money going in, because you can't put back-to-back bad loads together very many times before it starts hurting. And, like I said, if you can put a couple good ones back-to-back, then you've done something. But so took that load. The rate con on it tripped me out. Is it just me or is it everybody? It seems like the loads that pay the least are the ones that require the most work of you. Makes no sense to me. So on the rate con on this load, that's paying $1.50 a mile to pull 41,000 pounds at 35 degrees. To pull that across Pennsylvania. And I went around, I got around most of the tolls on the way back. I'll talk about that in a second. But for a load that weighs 41,000 pounds, that pays $1.50 a mile, they got on the rate con, check the load temperature every 4 hours. I mean, I just laugh at that. I'm like, where do you get off telling me to check, every 4 hours? Like, sorry, I'm trying to block some of this sun, man. It is ridiculous. But yeah, where do you get off telling me to check a load temp every 4 hours? Like, you think I'm getting up at night to go check that? You think I'm pulling over to check that? You're paying me $1.50. Be happy that, like, I even leave the reefer unit on. You know what I mean? Like, at $1.50, thought about turning it off. But, you can't do that because, you don't want to disrupt the food supply. But definitely not doing it as a favor to the brokers that tell me to check the load every 4 hours. Yeah, I'll get right on that guy. I'll get up my underwear and get out there and check that at 2 in the morning for you. So, yeah, kind of a BS load. I told you, so I spent $61 in tolls on this load on the way back. I paid $18 to get out of Jersey. I took 80 across Pennsylvania, so no tolls there. I took the Ohio Turnpike across Ohio, and then Indiana. You're not getting my $55 to go like 130, 140 miles. I got off, went 20 over to 2 to 94. Let's do it that way. Saved me $55 in tolls, which basically paid for the fuel to drive across to Indiana. So thanks for the free fuel, Indiana. Anyway, $61 in tolls on that one. $12 I did scale this load because it was heavy and I wasn't sure about the weight. And spent $209 in diesel. Put 100 gallons in this morning over in Indiana. $42 in reefer on this. $18 in DEF. $342. $342 in variable expenses on this load. Which leaves me like $800 and something, $858 or something. Yeah, not good for a 2-day run pulling heavy weight. Last time I did this, I was in Pennsylvania and I just deadheaded 800 miles. This was only like 80 miles more, and I really thought about deadheading, but I thought, $1,200 to the truck is better than nothing, but I don't know. Sometimes I debate that, like last time I deadheaded. I was like, screw them. I'm not taking you cheap freight. Of course, I couldn't find anything even in close to $1.50 last time I was over there. So this time, at least being $1.50, I decided to take it. It's not great, everybody can rag on me for running the freight market, because I took freight like that. But if I didn't take it, somebody else would. I guarantee you that. Especially coming out of New Jersey at $1.50 a mile back to the Midwest. oh, they would have been all over it. Like, you know, like this probably wouldn't have been on the board another hour if I hadn't have jumped on it. So anyway, that's that load wrapped up. So let's talk weekly recap numbers. Total revenue for the week was $6,200. That first load from Minnesota to Jersey, 1 pick, 5 drops, $4,700 on that one, 30,000 pounds, 28 degrees, continuous. This load, $1,500, 1 pick, 1 drop, 35 degrees. I ran it on start and stop. The broker said run it continuous. The bills I got said keep it between 32 and 39. I said, I go by the bill of ladings. The bill of ladings didn't say continuous. Sorry about that. I had to take a phone call. Back to what I was saying. $6,200 total for the week. That leaves, or $6,200 to the carrier. That is $4,960 to the truck. That is $282 a mile, all miles to the carrier. That's $225 all miles to the truck. So pretty good mile per rate, or rate per mile, excuse me. So $6,200, that's on 2,200 miles. So not a big week. I have not burned up a lot of hours. That's why I'm not going straight back to Minnesota from here, because I can get a load from Minnesota to here, but I can get a load to Texas that's paying really good, and I've already got a back haul from Texas back to here, and then from here I can get the load back to Minnesota, and by that time I will need a reset. So going to do it like that to, you know, pad the numbers a little bit. Anyway, 2,200 miles for the week. Spent $549 on diesel, probably less than where I started the week. That is a low amount for 2,200 miles. I bought about $200 extra worth of diesel, about 100 extra gallons at the end of last week. So you know, I paid for that on last week. So that's why diesel is lower this week, because I pre-filled 100 gallons basically. When it's cheap, I buy it. I don't stress whether I paid for it this week or that week. I'm just letting you know that's why it's the $549 is a low amount. But I have been getting good deals on it, especially for buying it in Illinois and Indiana and New Jersey. The New Jersey, maybe not so much, but Illinois and Indiana, after discount and after IFTA, I've been getting it for around, like, I don't know, $1.30 to $1.60 a gallon. So pretty happy with that. I spent $140 on reefer. I spent $32 on def. I spent $12 scaling this load. I did not scale that first load. $20 on parking over in New Jersey, and $117 on tolls. And to be honest with you, that is about $350 less than what if I would have just went the toll roads there and back cost. So the toll roads there and back were saying it was going to be it was like, let me see, it was $113 plus $350 something, I think. Like $353 plus $113. So it was like $466 if I would have just went straight down the toll roads there and back. Crazy. So I went around a lot of that, and that's probably why my fuel mileage is down this week. I'm probably averaging about 7.5 this week, but that's getting off the freeway a lot. That's going through the mountains, through Pennsylvania, off the toll road, you know, down the south part of Pennsylvania. So that's why we're doing probably like 7.5 this week. Maybe a little less. I don't know. I got to run the numbers on that, but it's probably ballpark 7.5. That's with a lot of idling and a lot of non-freeway running, though, so I'm still pretty happy with that. 117 in tolls, 870 in variable costs for the week, which leaves me $4,090 to do what I got to do with. And so another really good week. You know, even with the crappy load from New Jersey, that first load was so good that, you know, it pretty much made my week, that first load. I'll be honest with you, if I could just do one load like that a week, and you know, if I could consistently get that every week, I don't even think I'd worry about pulling a load back from Jersey. I'd just deadhead back to Minnesota all the way from Jersey, you know, because the first load was $12.50 on the miles. So even if I did a complete deadhead back, I'd be like 2,500 miles in, you know. So I don't know. Let New Jersey keep their cheap freight. But you know, not every week's a holiday week, and not every week do I get an offer on a load that's 1 pick, 5 drops in Jersey. So you know, so I'm gonna get off here, guys. That's it. I appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Most importantly, I do enjoy those comments, guys. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and check into doing that, because it'll be one less thing you got to do. You know, it's like, check that off your list. Subscribe to Cash is King's probably on your to-do list. Go ahead and hit that button, scratch it off. Until later, guys, take care of each other out there.